Yo, what's going on, guys? T-Church here, and in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you the same high ground retakes used by your favorite pros. Now, before we go into the advanced techniques, however, I would like to review some foundational retakes that I think are essential to learning the advanced ones that are going to be used later on in the video. Now, if you feel that you have a good grasp on the fundamental retakes, go ahead and skip ahead to the 7 minute and 45-second mark. This is where I'm going to go ahead and get into the advanced techniques. So again, if you feel like you're already good and strong foundationally, you can go ahead and skip ahead. And remember, guys, if you learned something from this video, make sure you leave a like, a comment, and subscribe so I can continue to bring you more content like this. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. Hey guys, so before we actually get into the video here, I did want to give you guys a quick tip when you are learning the build and edit combinations in this video. You can come to a map like Reisshub's The Training Hub or Raiders Mechanics Training version 4. I will have the map codes for both maps down below in the description, but you can come to here, you can go to the free build section, and you can mess with the timing speed of the map, right? So if I click on the little phone thing, you can see the map time speed here set to 100%. I can crank this down, set it to like 50%, for example, and you can see my character is moving slower, which is very helpful for when you're trying to learn new retakes, because as you can see, I have a lot of additional time with which to actually like make the builds and the edits and stuff like that. So this is extremely helpful if you guys are struggling to learn any of the new retakes. You can just come to one of these maps that I'll have the codes for down below, and you can change the movement speed of your character to be a little bit slower, which will give you guys an easier time just focusing on the individual build pieces that you need to place and the movement and all that kind of stuff. So start slow, and then as you get more comfortable with the move, progress to get faster and faster. Okay, and with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, guys, so for our first core retake, we will be doing the 90. As I said in the intro, if you guys know how to do 90s, you can go ahead and skip ahead. But if you want to stick around and learn something, you're welcome to do that too. Everyone needs to learn how to crank 90s, as it's one of the most foundational high ground reads. It allows you to go straight up, and doing two 90s in a row maintains your momentum better and puts you in a higher layer faster than a single 90. To get started with a 90, first you're going to need a ramp to run up, right? So just like that. And after that, I'm going to go ahead and pick the side that I want to run up. So I can go left side or I can go right side. It really doesn't matter. You can do 90s to both sides. Now, the key here, guys, is going to be turning to the opposite side that you are running up on the ramp. So if I'm running up the left side, I'm going to turn to the right, and I'm going to place two walls. I'm going to jump. I'm going to place a floor and a stair. And you can just do that basically repeatedly, okay? And that's your 90. Now, there are a couple of different variations that you guys can do with this once you get more comfortable. The first being the infinite 90. Now, there's actually a couple different ways even still to do the infinite 90, but I'm going to show you guys the most basic way, which is just using the standard 90 and using good positioning. So you can basically make sure you just hug the side of the ramp that has the wall. And as you reach the top of the ramp, you're again going to put your walls and your floor and your ramp, but you're going to continue to hold your W key as you do this, and it should continue to move you up like so. And now I don't have to jump when I'm doing my 90s. I can just keep going straight up, right? Now, there is another thing that you can do with 90s. Let's say that you want a 90 to the right here, but there's somebody like kind of either behind you or on your right side. As you're doing your 90, instead of placing your two walls here, you're going to flick back behind you, and you're going to place high walls like this, and then you're going to jump up, and you're going to 90, and you're going to place your floor and your ramp just like that, and then we're going to continue to do this again and again and again. And this is how you do a protected 90 without a cone. So that's everything that you guys need to know as far as 90s go. We will go ahead and move into our next core retake. All right, so one of the next fundamental moves that we're going to be talking about is going to be triple edits. Triple edits have been one of the longest standing high ground retakes in the game, and they're very simple. It's basically a ramp rush that is like covered your head, and you're taking the maximum amount of build pieces so that you can continue to move through without being impeded by your opponent's build, right? So they can't, like, if they obviously the issue with the double edit You come here, someone's above you, they can take that wall, and you run smack into their wall, and they can edit it, right? So we're well past that, though. This has been a long time. So there are a couple of different ways you can actually edit the floor and the cone combination here, and each of them have different effects. So the fastest way and the first way that we're going to be talking about is like this, where we're just going to edit this front corner tile of both the floor and the cone, and then you can edit through the wall like that. Now, obviously, this is the fastest because there's the least amount of crosshair movement. However, it can be a little bit limiting in terms of freedom. So if you want to do something like this, which we're going to talk about like later in the video, sometimes you can get caught on the floor or something like that when you're trying to jump out to the side when you are only editing this kind of like front corners, right? So but for now, we'll just talk about that. So that's the first way to do it. The second way to do it is the way that you guys kind of just saw, where again, we're going to be editing the front corner of the cone, but we're actually going to edit both sides of the flat, right? So both tiles on the flat. So now it's cut completely in half. And then with our crosshair placement after that, we're not going to move it at all. We can grab the edit on the cone, and we can go ahead and edit through the front corner of the cone, and we can build our wall and just keep going up like that. The third way to do this, it leaves you the most exposed, but on certain retakes, including one that we're going to go over later on in this video, it is actually beneficial to go ahead and edit through both the flat and the cone and cut them both in half like this. To give you the maximal amount of freedom. However, it does open up your back to get chunked. So if you are trying to go straight up and eventually do 90s or 180 or something like that, you should go ahead and stick with the first two combinations that we talked about. But if you are trying to do something else, like what we're going to show later on in the video, then you can go ahead and open wide like this. Oh, another little piece of info I want to go ahead and edit into this video for you guys that I completely forgot about when I was originally recording is that a triple edit doesn't necessarily have to be up. It can also be down, right? So triple edit is essentially any combination of like 3 edits, right? So this would also count as a triple edit, right? Like something like this would also count as a triple edit. So I just want to add that little tidbit in for you guys because it will be referenced a little bit, I think, later on in the video. All right, guys, next up, we're going to have the high wall tunnel. So to do the high wall tunnel, it is very similar in terms of your character placement on your ramp as the 90. We're going to be going up one side or the other. And you do have a lot of flexibility with this retake. Simply all you're doing is placing walls basically above you and placing a ramp to go ahead and cover your head, right? But you do have a lot of flexibility because you can basically do it to whichever side you want to do it to. Right, you can see I can basically just run in a straight line and look at either side. And so this is great for like when you're trying to go up, when you're trying to fight somebody for high ground, right? And you know you want to maybe make like a quick move or something, but you need information first, and you need to create a little bit of spacing. This move is really great for that because it's very flexible and you can cover whichever side you need to. Obviously, a lot of times so you are going to leave one side open, but that is okay for the purposes that we're using. So very simple, guys. You know, it's just walls up above me. I'm going to place a ramp above, and I'm going to edit an arch through the wall. And then again, really the proper way to do this too is to place the double ramps first and then place the walls, because when you are coming out of this edit, you don't want to you don't want the pre-fire timing, right? So we're going to go double ramp, wall, double ramp, wall, double ramp, wall, and you just continue so on and so forth. Alright guys, so the first retake that we're going to be taking a look at today is going to be a double edit protected cone jump. So it's pretty simple. Instead of editing through the front like a normal double edit, you're just going to go ahead and edit these back 2 tiles. You could also edit the floor like that if you want to make it a little bit easier. Well, one of the keys here is to keep this cone kind of edited in one piece so you have maximal protection. And then you can kind of just jump up to here, catch yourself, and then you're able to edit and reset the cone. And you can do a couple of different things with this. You know, you can go ahead and press your standard reset bind that doesn't like fully reset the edit, but allows you instead to change the edit. From there, you can go ahead and edit into a ramp, and you could do a form of like protected 90s with it. You can also come back down here, and if we go ahead and do it again, you can see when I come up, I can place a wall here, I can reset this cone, and then I can set up for a nice little window peek if somebody's on the other side. So overall, a really nice and versatile retake that is going to catch your opponents off guard and is going to help you guys a lot in fight. Up next for retakes that you guys need to learn, that you guys need to add in repertoire into your skill set. We'll be talking about the extended cone flip. Now, something that is probably going to be fairly familiar to a lot of you, but it's pretty simple. So something like this, maybe we're going to start out with a 90. We're going to look straight up from halfway up the bottom ramp, right? So we're going to have a full ramp in between me and the cone at this point. I'm going to hold my cone blueprint out, and I can edit the back two tiles of this cone. And then from here, I could add in maybe like a high wall 90, right? And I can cone my opponent off, and then I can come through here and I can get a really easy shot on them, right? So this is a pretty good retake for you guys to learn. Going to want to learn this. It allows you to make a lot of very creative plays and be very unpredictable to your opponent, because you have a lot of different things that you can do once you get the initial piece and cone on the opponent. Alright guys, next up on our list is going to be the high wall 90. Now if you guys are watching a lot of the good players play Zone Wars or PGs or what have you, you'll probably have seen this move before. It's a variation of a 90, however it's extra protected, right? So the idea here is we're kind of like, we're running up a ramp, same positioning as we're doing 90 like I explained earlier in the video, but instead of just placing these two walls like you would with a standard 90, you're actually going to go up with your crosshair to the kind of like a point right here you see. I drag, and then if I go, I miss it. I just want to make sure that I'm practicing kind of like getting this sweet spot right here, so I can make sure that I place these walls every time. But we're gonna place two high walls up top, and you're gonna place two ramps to go ahead and stay protected. And there's a lot of different flexibility that you're going to have coming out of a retake like this, where I could place a cone above me, and I can easily turn this into the real quick ramp flip 90, or I could alternatively edit through this wall and then like, and I can remaining it. Made a little mistake there. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to demonstrate this in full speed for you guys. So look up, boom, 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 right? And this is another one I'll be showing you guys later in the video. But one more time, look up, boom, boom, right? Very simple, very protected. Definitely one that you're gonna want to learn as early as possible. Alright guys, so the next retake that I want to show you guys is going to be called the protected side jump. So what we're going to be looking at here is kind of a normal side jump like we talked about in the intro. It's going to be standard booga side jump, where you are placing the stair perpendicular to the cone, meaning that the bottom of the stair is the piece that is actually connected to the cone. This way you automatically gain an additional layer of elevation while doing the side jump. There is a small modification that we're going to make to this here, wherein we're going to place a wall before we actually make the side jump. This makes it so that if there's somebody on height above you and they want to drop down onto your head, you can actually catch them in this box, and then you can execute the side jump, which I really need to practice my side jumps. Missed it there. But in slow motion, it's going to look something like that, right? And I can also chain a lot of different retakes onto this side jump. The Booga side jump is definitely one of the most versatile retakes in the game. It allows you to do a lot of different things. It allows you to move very quickly and catch your opponent off, right? So one more time for you guys. We're gonna go up, side jump, out to the side, just like that. And that is going to be your protected side jump. You can also try to make it more advanced by placing a 4 here, going through with the walls, up, going through the walls, and then catching yourself just like normal. Alright guys, so for our next retake, this is going to be a variation of the Thwifo cone. I do not believe I talked about this move in the intro, so I'm actually going to go ahead and sample 2 retakes here. I probably should have talked about Thwifo cone in the intro, but we're going to go ahead and talk about it now. So the Thwifo cone is a very, very old retake. This is like a chapter 1 retake, but it allows you to maintain momentum while staying protected, while trying to gather information to make a play to retake height, right? So for the Thwifo cone, it's very simple. All you're going to do, you can either turn to your right or to your left behind you. You can take your walls out, you're going to look up, and you're going to place a cone, right? Spin it back down, and we're going to keep doing the same thing, right? In full speed. I can do that back to the other side, right? Now, it's very important here to make sure that you're looking for both of the walls to place before you go ahead and change up to that cone. Otherwise, you probably will miss a wall placement, and you're going to be leaving open probably whatever angle it is that you're actually trying to block. So just make sure that you guys are being like patient on this retake. You know, you don't have to really don't have to try to rush this one. Stay fully protected like the entire time. Just keep spamming it. Make sure that you're not over spamming your jump button and running out of jumping, right? So now a variation of this that you guys can do is called a Thwifo cone 90, right? So this is a variation of a 90. It's a combination of a 90 and a Thwifo cone to stay extra protected, and you can chain a lot of different retakes off of this individual move. So this is something that when you guys are starting to expand and learning how to chain retakes together, this is definitely something that's going to be extremely important for you guys to learn. It's also extremely useful for catching opponents off guard, retaking height while making sure that you have like specific angles covered that you want to remain covered, right? Is again, so I don't know if you guys know this or not. Some of you will, some of you won't. But the theory is obviously 290s is going to be faster than 80. So learning how to do all of these variations of build moves with both 90s and 180s is important, because you'll need to know when to use different variations of the 90 or the 180 in different situations. But let's go ahead and get into the Thwifo cone 90. So we're going to start off like a normal Thwifo cone, but as we jump at the apex of our jump, we're also going to look down and we're going to place a ramp below us, right? This is going to allow us to start getting elevation. So one more time for you guys. In speed, that one up. And you can see I can just basically triple edit through there, and I can just keep going. I can also go ahead and chain cone 90 onto that as well. Time for you guys. Mess that one up. And there we go. Alright. So that is going to be your Thwifo cone 90. Alright guys, so our next retake is going to be another cone variation. This is going to be a triple edit cone jump. This is probably one of the most difficult retakes that I know how to do and execute. I probably will not get this perfect in demonstration, but the idea here is that you're able to edit this cone in this port, and as you're coming through, you would add a wall, and as you're jumping, you kind of edit in full speed. It would kind of look something like that. And you can see, like, even there, I'm not perfect with it. This is a retake that requires a lot of skill and practice, but if you do end up adding it into your repertoire, it's actually good if you kind of like miss cone placements or something like that here. And it's not as obvious as a normal triple edit. When you're coming through here, it may not be, there's no ramp, so it may not be blatantly obvious to your opponent what's going on. And then you kind of just can bust out, jump, and bust out something like that. Just something pretty simple. You need to make sure you place the walls, that the walls are placed. Otherwise, obviously, the top one placed here. And I find the easiest way to do this is by editing the front two right here. But it is also equally valid if you want to maybe like change direction or something. You can also edit through the two tiles on the right or the left side. So that would work on either side. So a lot of versatility here as well. Something that's pretty good to master. But it is a rather difficult retake to master. But you need to make sure that you have already mastered like triple editing as well as certain jumping mechanics in order to do this. Alright guys, so for our last retake, last but certainly not least, this is probably one of my favorite retakes to do, like, period. It is just so much fun to execute, and it makes it so easy to either get some sort of piece control on your opponents or to easily take height from them. This is probably something you guys all know and love. This is the Clicks 90. So for the Clicks 90, you're going to start off on a normal ramp. You're going to place two above you, and you can do this to either side, but the side that you place the ramp to determines the direction of the 90, okay? So you can do it to the left, and if you go to the left, we're going to go to the left. Right, we're going to go to the right. All right. But for this example, we're going to go ahead and start off to the left. Now, unlike a conventional 90, where you want to be standing on the opposite side of the stair to the direction that you're going, when you're doing a Clicks 90, you actually want to be standing on the same side of the stair. So that way, when you do this little side jump portion right here, you can go ahead and catch yourself on the stair, and then you can continue. You can connect yourself to the front stair, and you can continue to go up, right? So in full speed, to the right now. That's going to be your standard clicks 90, guys. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below if you guys want to see tutorials, more high ground retakes, how to play the game, fundamentals of teamwork. I have a bunch of different videos coming for you guys. So just make sure that you stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next